Today, I'd like to talk to you about resilience. My name's Annabelle and I'm a coach and trainer, and I support people through change, whether that's something that they want to move from where they are to where they want to get to, or often organisational change as well. And through my personal and professional life, resilience has been a subject that I'm really interested in. So today I'd like to share with you two things. One is the definition of resilience as the dictionary defines it, a few thoughts about what that might mean for you or I, and also 7 things resilient people do. So first of all, the definition of resilience. When I looked up the Oxford Dictionary, there are 2 quite different definitions here. The first one says, resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. And the second one is the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape, elasticity. So toughness and elasticity, they are really alternative definitions. And if you think about it like a big concrete block, if you somehow muster up the power to knock that over, you're not likely to be getting it back up again. If it's so tough, that might just not be quite resilient enough. And I think it could be somewhere between toughness and elasticity. With the elasticity, if you imagine, I don't know, a garden of wildflowers. If the wind comes along, like the storms we've had in recent weeks, the whole lot's going to be flattened. So if you think about somewhere in between the two, if we can think about being adaptable and flexible in how we respond and taking the time we need to work through changes, new communications, things we hear about what's happening in the organisation and in life, then that can help to remember to be somewhere between these 2 definitions. The other thing that I keep hearing is about its ability to bounce back. And I agree that's the case sometimes. So for example, if you're at work and you hear some difficult news or upsetting news, there is, occasions when it's so upsetting you would just need to leave the building, and it might be very personal or whatever. There are also times when you might feel some emotion and need to take a minute away, in the bathroom or somewhere private, that you can take your time and bring yourself back to feeling composed before you then come back and do your job or go to the next thing that you have to do. So in that sense, yes, bouncing back, I believe, is part of resilience. The other aspect to that, though, is the people that I've met, and also people who I don't know, that I've noticed what they do and modelling almost what they do and how they describe their experiences where they've built resilience, is often that they invest the time to deal with the difficult stuff, often related to emotions or problem solving or both. And so with that, and with the things that I've noticed in people I've worked with, I've come up with 7 things that I find that resilient people do. And if you have any more, I'd love to hear them. So here's what they are. The first one is to acknowledge and accept what's happening. So rather than immediately think you've got to do something about it, just sit with it. Notice how you feel. Be aware of where your thoughts go. Take your time, sleep on it if you have the opportunity. So it's taking that time to just be aware that this is happening and accept that it is happening. And also to respond, not react. If you've watched another video clip that I've done on the communication model, that's all about how our thoughts shape our experiences and about awareness and choice to respond constructively rather than letting our natural reactions, which could fire up into a fight or flight response, an emotional response that may not be helpful in a given situation. So that's respond, not react. And the third one is to think about what you can change or influence. So if there's a decision made that you're really dead against, is there an opportunity to change it or influence it? If not, then look at how you can respond to the change, or look at how you can adapt in another way. Because otherwise you're devoting energy and attention to something that you can't change, and it can be very, it can really run you down to devote too much time and attention to things like that. The next thing is to maintain a positive outlook. And that's not to ignore the negatives, it's not to ignore the challenges, simply to have an outcome focus and look at how you can keep yourself aligned with where you need to be. For example, doing the day job while there's all sorts of other changes carrying on, keeping yourself feeling positive, and also, as I said before, acknowledging the challenges that you have too. And with that, the fifth thing is to ask for support. So being honest about how you're feeling, and ask a trusted person. So depending on what the situation is, you might need a different type of support at certain times. It might be wanting to know more about the situation. It might be saying to a friend over lunch, actually, I'm struggling today. And with mental health in mind, and I'm sure a lot of the things you've read and watched about that in recent months and years, is so important to be able to talk to somebody and see how you're feeling honestly. Another thing, which is advisable in the majority of situations, is number 6, which is to have fun, be social, be around people who you feel good with. If you're in a team, take the time to have a bit of friendly chat within the team, so that there's a balance. It helps to have a bit of banter if it's appropriate. And being around other people, we are social animals, we're sort of tribal creatures, and it can help a lot to, and that might be a mix of the, having a laugh, doing something nice on a Friday, and also actually having a private chat with somebody to share your feelings about something, within your own choice, of course. And lastly, and one of the most important ones, is to proactively look after your physical and emotional well-being. So things like getting exercise and fresh air in daylight. Thank goodness we have a bit more daylight at the moment than we have had the last few months. It could be going for a walk at lunchtime. Even a short walk can make a difference. Making sure you get plenty of sleep, and also noticing your thoughts, your reactions to things, and taking the time you need and asking for support to maintain your emotional well-being and invest in your mental health. It's so important, and it will make it far more smooth and straightforward to work through changes and challenges, and also to enjoy the good times as well if you look after your well-being. So those are the 7 things I'm suggesting. As I say, if you have any more, I'd love to hear them, and I hope that helps with whatever you're experiencing just now. Thank you.